This is Sean Hannity, who looks like a cross between a thumb and one of the last surviving member of our gang. And are there any Knights Templar left? Yes, I am one. The myth atheist, no. Because you can't take an oath if you're an atheist. It's too easy to lie. Anyways, not important. You can do something else. There's plenty of other shit. So Sean Hannity here, he's one of these people who's also caught up in this bullshit of it was history. It's history, historical history tonight. Look at this. Hannity, history happened on Capitol Hill tonight. Yeah, but not the good kind, dumb fuck.
And welcome to Hannity, history on Capitol Hill tonight.
Yes, of the failure kind.
Republican lawmakers joining all 208 House Democrats to remove Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker, the first time in our nation's history, and McCarthy will not seek the speakership again. Now, sources telling me at this hour some House Republicans have been in contact with and have started an effort to draft former President Donald Trump to be the...
Get the fuck out of here. Stop. No. Let me just put a pin in this. It's not going to happen. Shut the fuck up. Don't even dance around this nonsense. It's dumb. Yeah.
The next speaker. And I have been told that President Trump might be open to helping the Republican Party, at least in the short term. If
by what? What is he going to do? Flee the country?
Necessary.
I have a good idea how he could help the Republican Party in the short term. Shut the fuck up. Just stop talking. Stay out of the press. Let them fly on their own. It's time to see if they can live without you, buddy. You know, that's the thing as a parent. Sometimes you just got to learn to let go.
If it's needed. Anyway, but here's former Speaker McCarthy earlier tonight. Let's take a look.
I believe I can continue to fight, maybe in a different manner.
Yes, mainly punching myself in the dick.
I will not run for Speaker again.
Because goddamn, that was fucked up, and I know I can't win, and nobody can win. It's a winless situation. Why would anyone want to do this?
I'll have the conference pick somebody else.
Oh, will ya? I'm not going to be Speaker, but I will have them do what I want them to do. Asshole, if you're not going to run, they are going to pick somebody else. That's how shit works.
I think today was a political decision by the Democrats.
Yes, you're all, I don't know if you know this. You're all politicians. You're in Washington, D.C. You are political representatives. You're from two political parties. Yes. All of what you do is political, especially because you guys have abdicated most of the actual work of oversight.
And I think the things they have done in the past hurt the institution.
What? How is it their fucking... Wait a minute. No. Your party attacked the fucking Capitol.
They just started removing people from committee.
What? Yeah. When they started removing people from committees. First of all, they didn't. They did not. The people they were welcoming people on they just said, you might be a witness on the Jan 6 committee, so you can't be a fucking committee member. Go find somebody else. There's 200 of you motherfuckers. These 4 are probably going to be defendants in the future around these issues. Pick somebody else. And you're like, nope, not picking anybody else. Fuck it.
They just started doing the other things. And
they just started doing the other things. I love when he gets specific. I need to get a yellow legal pad so I can write these things down.
Fear is the institution fell today.
No, it didn't. You did. You made a dumb decision in January and it caught up to you today. Fuck off.
Because you can't do the job if 8 people, you have 94% or 96% of your entire conference, but 8.
Yeah, 96% of your conference and none of the other conference. Maybe I'm just playing the numbers here, considering there's like 500 fucking people involved.
People can partner with the whole other side.
Yeah, I mean, I would have, I don't know about you, but anybody, chat room, would you have considered that in your thinking when making decisions in the first place? Because I'm pretty sure that if I had that narrow a margin, would have either just won by the numbers that I had, because I'm that kind of guy. But if I needed a couple of Republicans to vote for me to get me over the hump, pretty sure it could have reached out to them and used it in ads later going, I can reach across the aisle with reasonable people. We don't have to agree on everything, but what we can agree on is love a country, and we'll try and solve these things together. And who knows, they might teach me something, I might teach them something. It's called maturity, right? You could actually use that later if you actually fucking think ahead. This asshole just fucking it's so lame. And again, to lose this job as quickly as he did, 27 Scaramucci's, and then I blame anyone else. How do you, what better way is there to prove you never deserved the spot in the first place?
How do you govern? And for them to
You weren't even interested in governing, stupid. If you hadn't, if he had had a bigger majority, they wouldn't have passed anything. I'm dead serious. If he could have slam dunked votes through the House, but they lost in the Senate and the president would veto it, they would have never gotten any of this shit through, because they wouldn't have had to go back and forth on a lot of this shit to get it passed up up through the Senate. They would have just, it would have gone up, it would have been voted down, they would have killed it.
make a motion on me because I made a decision for the country that they agreed with, but they choose to do the other. That becomes a problem.
It becomes a problem, does it?
Now, this all went down after a motion to vacate was...
This hole went down? Well, you don't say. This hole went down. Why is that not working? Something's being weird. Moon River. There you go. That hole went down.
Put forward by Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, citing trust issues because...
Yes. Apparently, no one trusts Matt Gaetz to fix them a drink anymore.
Of a recent bipartisan resolution, a CR, to fund the government through mid-November, and a lack of action on a number of bills, appropriations bills. And Gaetz went forward with a move to oust Speaker McCarthy. Successful. Anyway, given the slim GOP majority, Gaetz needed only a handful of other Republicans to get it done. But now uncertainty reigns supreme on...
It does supreme. Yeah, it's a... I like an uncertainty reigns supreme with chocolate sprinkles on it.
Capitol Hill. In truth, Gaetz, other Republicans, they did have legitimate complaints. Returning to regular...
Everybody has legitimate complaints, motherfucker. It's a democracy. That doesn't mean you scuttle stuff because you have an issue, because your fantasy version of utopia. And again, this is, for anybody that doesn't understand my issue with the TYTs of the world, look at how Matt Gaetz is fucking up this whole conference, because that's exactly what he's doing. There's a reason why Matt Gaetz went on TYT, because they are cut from the same fucking cloth. And that is, if we don't get everything, nobody gets anything. That's what they want. They want to be able to dictate from a small corner and never have to even be open to the broad concept of consensus or even the available options that are out there. They see one path, and if everybody doesn't agree with them on the path, that person isn't just wrong, they're evil. They're working for for evil forces, Nazis or what have you. That's the same shit. It's the same shit.
Order, passing appropriations bills, single issue bills, balanced budget amendment, term limits, all promised fair criticism. But
yeah, and they floated some of those bills up and they died in the Senate. It's not his fucking fault. And yet they still held him to a promise past the point of his responsibility. That's, again, such an important word, responsibility, because you have an ability to respond to something. Anything outside of your ability to respond to that is not your fucking responsibility. And anybody who wants to hold you responsible for things that are outside your ability to respond is a fucking crook.
Many of those measures could have been dealt with, especially in the future, especially issues that would never have become law at this time. Really?
Become law? I mean, I'm familiar with some of the cum laws that are out there. I mean, I like reading bills as much as but the pages are always sticking together.
It really came down to the fiscal issues in play here.
No, it didn't. That's the illusion. What it came down to was the fact that Gaetz is under an ethics cloud and he's going to get expelled. And McCarthy and others were working to get him expelled. And he thought this would slow that process. And he's right. It won't change it, but it'll slow it long enough where he can maybe get some distance, scare off a witness, stop the train, anywhere along the tracks.
Process, for example. But the question is this, and every conservative, every Republican needs to be asking this tonight.
Can you kick my ass?
Was this the best strategic and tactical approach at this moment?
No. No, it was completely idiotic. It was, it was cutting off your nose to spite your face. It was completely just sabotaging your own shit for no particular reason, other than the fact that it does have a slight hint of when a football game is going poorly and all of a sudden somebody gets my knee. Oh, I wish I could continue playing this doomed game I am incapable of winning. But it's the knee. I'll be in the locker room. You guys, ow. Oh. That's what this stinks up to me. This is like fucking, we don't have an answer. We don't have our 12 appropriations bills. We haven't done any of the fucking homework. All we're doing is this stupid Jim Jordan committee. We have done nothing else. And people are going to find out, so we got to just fucking scuttle everything.
Now, there were very, very viable alternatives, plans put together by Freedom Caucus members, people like Congressman Chip Roy, who will join us tonight.
Yeah, he's super happy.
And Byron Donalds and Scott
also happy.
Perry. For example, one plan cut.
Furious at fellow Republicans over spending debacle. Eat a shit sandwich. Is that one of the options? Was it a contest on the floor? Was it like a hot dog eating contest, but with turds? I love that he goes, there were lots of alternatives, and then this is the fucking graphic. Oh, my God.
Well, from them cut spending by a whopping 8%.
A whopping 8%.
And also had historic border security measures attached, but was opposed by Gaetz and a few other Republicans, and that didn't go far. That left
8% cut in border security, and they were against it? That's weird. I'm just getting the feeling that they actually don't want these things to pass, that they, because if they prove that government can actually function, it goes against their entire raison d'etre to destroy it in the first place.
Chip Roy kind of speechless. That plan would have allowed.
No, he wasn't speechless. He said, "Eat a shit sandwich." That's, technically speaking, he wasn't unable to say that word. You edited it.
More time needed for the appropriations bills to be passed, and the second option actually had.
Ooh, the sex option. There was a sex option? Look out. I think there was. It was getting fucked. I personally think that's the way it worked out. Yeah. What are you going to do?
A 30% cut in discretionary spending, and included, by the way, the Republican Party's border bill, H.R. 2. That would have been a great alternative.
That never would have passed the Senate and never would have been signed into law.
That, again, would have also resulted in the full 12 appropriations bills having been voted on and hopefully passed. So today, the question we all have, was the nuclear option needed? Was it worth it? Well, I can tell you right now, I don't know.
Great. Thanks. I'm glad we watched the show. Thanks for letting us know you're a complete waste of fucking time. I'll tell you what, I know. It's a mistake. It's stupid. It's childish. It's a waste of fucking time. And it points to the fact that these assholes are incapable of doing the job that they got in the first place. That's not hard. That wasn't even fucking difficult, was it? My fucking chat knows this. It was a terrible... You're up against the clock and you do this? They just punted this thing. They've got 45 days to work this shit out, and then they're going to switch speakers in a situation where it took a ridiculous amount of time to pick one in the first place. You think it's going to go smoother this time?
Time will certainly tell whether this was a good move or a bad move.
It was a bad move. Time has passed, fuckwad.
But one reality will not change. Republicans have a minuscule majority who...
Right. Yeah, it's very teensy. It's very small. It's pitiful. And it kind of leans to the side and doesn't really have much turgidity at all. It's a very small majority. And there's like something, I don't know, there's something growing on it.
Whoever the speaker is, and it is made up of disparate groups ranging from moderate left to Freedom Caucus conservative. Now, Gaetz says that he was ripping the Band-Aid off the status quo in the Washington.
Moderate left? What, does this asshole think there are moderate left-wing Republicans?
Swamp. But the House Oversight Committee Chairman Jim Jordan had a different take. Let's hear him.
Let's hear him. I don't like any of this.
On January 3rd, we said the 118th Congress is about three things.
Eenie. No. Curly, Larry, and Mo.
Pass the bills that need passed, do the oversight work that needs to be done, and stop the inevitable omnibus that comes from the United States Senate right before the holidays.
Okay. You have done none of that. The oversight into quote unquote Hunter Biden, who's not even a federal employee, is a complete fucking dud. And you have done that in lieu of doing, and this weaponization of government bullshit and going after the Twitter files and all that kind of stuff has zero impact on the American people. We've got train tracks and the FAA and military spending and all kinds of stuff that needs to be broken down. It's boring. It's not even the part that C-SPAN watches. That's your fucking job. Not these fucking, this will be great on my Firebrand podcast. You didn't pass the bills that need to be passed. You put them up for a vote. You voted for them and they died in the Senate. Fuck off. The bills that need to be passed are like the debt ceiling and a fucking budget. And what was the third one? I've forgotten at this point because this is
Kevin McCarthy has been rock solid on all three.
Oh, back the
We
fuck
have passed
up.
the bills we told the American have an inevitable omnibus that comes from.
Oh, the omnibus. Asshole, you're going to end up with that. You're going to end up with having to pass all of them in one chunk and not be able to read them anyways. What's the difference between one giant bill you haven't read and 12 slightly smaller bills that would make up that one giant bill that you haven't read? That you have to pass in the same fucking time frame. Also, they're not going to pass unless you guarantee to pass the other stuff. Because again, the issue with the 12 omnibus bills is that these assholes, all they want is border and military, and they want to scuttle everything else. So what they think they're going to do is just not move the bills forward. Let the funding die. Which they do not have the right to do, considering what little mandate they have. So they could bring 4 of them to the floor and then leave the other 8 to just die on the vine. And then go, yeah, we didn't need those. We didn't. We'll basically defund the FBI and the Department of Education and all that kind of stuff simply by not doing that part of the bill. One of the reasons that there's a safety in a giant omnibus bill where they all get put together, so you don't have this kind of like, okay, we got the 2 we liked through. We're not going to vote for these other ones.
The United States Senate right before the holidays. Kevin McCarthy has been rock solid on all three. We have passed the bills we told the American people we would pass.
Right, they died in the Senate, but, we get to use them in ads.
87,000 IRS agents, that bill passed. Parents' Bill of Rights, that bill passed.
Yeah, and it had zero effect on anything.
Energy legislation passed. Border security, immigration enforcement legislation, the strongest bill ever to pass the Congress, passed earlier this year.
And it died in the Senate. Again, I don't know why anybody in government brags about, like, passing high-five yourself bills.
We have done what we told them we were going to do.
All right, now keep in mind, Republicans hold a 9-vote majority in 1/2 of 1/3 of the federal government.
Right, which means they do not have, nor do they deserve, even the illusion of a fucking mandate. So calm the fuck down and work it out.
Making up that very slim majority is a coalition of lawmakers. You got the Freedom Caucus, the Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday group, the study group, along with moderate Republicans, many from districts that Biden won in 2020, 18 to be exact. Now,
yeah, they're going to lose next year.
Bringing that group together on anything is not an easy feat.
Right, because you're not bringing them together. You are rejecting their concerns outright and forcing them to eat a shit sandwich, as Chip Roy said, from Matt Gaetz's safe district.
But in the end, Republicans, let me warn you tonight, you will succeed or you will fail together. That is undeniable.
No, actually, you'll probably succeed by breaking up slightly. That is the exact opposite of reality. Fucking hell.
Still, McCarthy accomplished a lot, including a serious investigation into Biden's bribery, money laundering allegations, which
I would say was inserious, to borrow a nicknaming from Donald
is ongoing, an impeachment inquiry that is now picking up steam, an investigation into Biden's
where there's steam, there's
weaponized FBI and DOJ, multiple major pieces of legislation, including a border security bill that I just mentioned, a bill
that won't pass the Senate.
Bill to stop Biden's plan to hire 80,000 new IRS agents, a bill to stop big government restrictions on gas stoves and other appliances.
Oh my God! Thank God. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. It's right. Yeah, I would consider the restrictions on gas stoves as far as ventilation, so that children don't grow up by the hundreds of thousands over the decades with asthma. I can see why. That would be a reason to just scuttle the function of the U.S. government, so that you can still fucking use flint and steel inside your fucking house. Just
another bill to repeal the worst parts of the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. And that's just...
You mean the bill that passed when the government functioned?
The tip of the iceberg.
It's not an iceberg. It's an ice cube, and it's more than just the tip.
But now, without a speaker, all matters involving the House come to a grinding halt.
Right, which is exactly what Gaetz and those folks want.
The GOP's investigations will be stalled. 0 Republican bills will be sent to the Senate. And
So I think, so you're making the case that Gaetz works for Biden.
And Republican infighting, that'll take center stage, which is exactly what Democrats and the media mob desperately want, and they want to continue for a long period of time.
Yeah, but it's really not up to us, is it? I guess I enjoy it. Like I've said, there's not going to be enough popcorn for 2023, but I wasn't counting on you guys fucking yourself into a cocked hat this early in the process. I'm kidding. I was shocked to some degree that they didn't try to oust him in July. What a bunch of assholes. But yeah, I am enjoying this, by the way. And I'm going to jump around tonight because I've got limited time.